Hello, everybody. Jason here from FC Portland. I hope everybody's staying safe and well. Today's tactical 10-minute plan is going over a U9, U10 practice session. And this is what we do over here at FC Portland in our Foundation Academy. So I hope it can help some of you guys and yeah, enjoy it. And then feel free to post any questions that you have. All right. I hope you enjoyed the session. So here at FC Portland, we understand that developing a child, whether it's sports or through life lessons, takes time. There is a process for our long-term development plan. We focus on the 4 P's. We focus on people, process, purpose, and patience. People, this is the key. Whether it's your coaching staff, the players, or even parents. Getting the right people in place is critical when you are building a culture of learning and developing. The process, we make sure that our process is achievable and it makes sense. We also make sure that through the development process, we do not drift away from our values. We teach life lessons and mental skills. It's not what you get from the game, but what you become. Purpose, everything we do is related to the game of soccer. Juggling is banned from our practice sessions. We cannot teach juggling. This is a self-motivational exercise that our players can do at home. We don't want them doing them at the practice field. Patience, knowing that we're going to fail is fine. If we get the 4 P's right, then the results will take care of themselves. All these points about our methodology are all self-explanatory. They look great on a presentation, but the key is, do you live what you say? All across the world we see clubs, organisations that have mission statements or fancy powerful slogans, but do they actually carry out what they say? Actions are a way to move your team or programme forward. People ask what is the most important thing for me when recruiting a player. I always look at their attitude. Their attitude for me is like a price tag. It tells me how much they are worth. Am I going to get the A plus athlete with the A plus attitude? Probably not. Those are hard to find. But I would rather take a C plus athlete with an A plus attitude over an A plus athlete with a C plus attitude. I know I'm unable to help the latter. I'm unable to help an athlete that's A plus that has a C plus attitude. Yeah, I've had players with poor attitudes before, and I've managed to help them get through that. But yeah, we need to focus on attitude if you want to get the culture right within your team. We also focus on the 4 corner model: technical, tactical, psychological, physical, and social. These are incorporated in all our practice sessions through every age group. We believe that tactical aspects should be taught at U9, U10. Just tiny snippets of teaching the game will help, and it'll get through to your players. If you're just focusing on technique only, especially technical work in isolation, then your players, when they become U14, U15, they'll still look like they've not developed any soccer IQ. So technical work must involve some kind of pressure or competition. The odd time it may not. If you can conduct a technical exercise that creates pressure on the player, the long-term development plan will pay off. All right, so moving towards the session, I believe at every level, even professional, these 4 things should revolve around what you are doing. Fun can be frowned upon. It can sometimes be classed as you being weak, but players and coaches must enjoy what they do. People ask me, how does the fun part fit into an elite player's environment or a professional player's environment? And I say the fun part for those kind of players is seeing progression. If they see that they're progressing, that's fun. Your practice session should be engaging, competitive, and related to the game. This practice I'm going to show you is on passing and ball control. We work off a model of fun, practice, play. We start the session with a fun warm-up. Having a fun warm-up encourages the player to arrive on time and excited. They know that as soon as they arrive at 6 o'clock, we're getting started. This is another thing that you should work on is starting on time. Don't wait for anybody. If a player arrives late, which is obviously no fault of their own, because the parents are driving, they will see that the fun game has nearly ended, and then they'll be telling their parents to get them to practice on time. And parents love seeing the children excited to go to a sports practice. Um, this is the fun warm up that we'll start with. We start the exercise. Two players have a ball. The rest of the soccer balls are with the coach. The exercise starts with two players with a ball dribbling around the area and trying to hit the other player below the knee. This has to be done with the side foot pass. If a player gets hit below the knee, they go and collect a ball from the coach and join as a chaser. And then we play until all the players have been hit. And then we start the exercise with new chasers. The coaching points we're looking for, especially on the boys, don't let it get out of hand. The boys can get overexcited and start shooting the ball high. Some kids will have a big kick on them. So, emphasize the importance of the pass. Pass with the side of the foot. Aim for the legs. If players kick the ball out, they've got to go and retrieve it. So this will get them more careful because they don't want to go and fetch the ball. We're looking for field awareness so they don't bump into each other. Scanning the field while running. There are different running movements that the players can make that are being chased. Close ball control is also used by the player with the ball, where they're using the inside, the outside, and the sole of the foot. So this warm-up could actually be used if you were going to do a theme about dribbling. We now run the exercise again and switch to taggers. And as we do this, we have a Q&A with the players, and we will add in some coaching points, and we allow the players to answer the questions. The fun part, we now go to the practice. We now stay on the theme of passing and ball control. The second phase of the practice is focused on the technical work that involves some kind of pressure, whether it's a competition or a game. Here we make a circle with 9 players, 1 ball. Can be done with 5 players and 1 ball if you're concerned about players touching the ball fewer times. Players are positioned as shown. So player A will pass the ball to central player, then moves quickly into the centre of the circle. Player B opens up the body and receives the ball on the back foot, passes to player C, and after the pass, that player will go into the position that player A has just vacated. Player C now passes to the middle player, and so on. Passes can change direction. We go first playing 2-touch, and then you can add a variation in here. We'll then tell the players to play 1-touch. If you have multiple groups, the competition part, you can now add pressure by saying the first group to complete 30 passes wins. The coaching points, we're looking at players scanning the area. We keep the ball moving. Before a player receives the ball, can they call the name of who they're passing to? So it shows that they're scanning the area. We're looking at the player's first touch, the body shape. The player on the outside too must be looking at the player's body shape in the middle to see what pass they are looking for. We teach the players the thought process and purpose, that there's a thought process and purpose that you want when you're making a pass. Accuracy and weight and of the pass and timing is crucial. We teach our players to have the mentality of when they make a pass, they say to themselves, here you go and enjoy that pass, instead of just kicking it and saying, hey, make something of that. Our third phase of the practice is usually a condition game. We try to allow the exercise to be the teacher as much as we possibly can. In this 2v1 exercise, we're still on the theme of passing. The attackers work in twos, the 2 defenders work in their own half. To start, 2 attackers enter the field and try to score a goal as quickly as possible. The attackers must play 2v1 in the first half and then 2v1 in the second half. Defenders, like I say, stay in their own zone. If the defender regains the ball, they can score or pass to the other defender and score in the opposite goal. and then we switch to the defenders. Variation, when the ball passes the first zone and moves into the second zone, the defender is free to run and help their teammate and create a 2v2 in that attacking zone. The coaching points we're looking for, we're still looking at the passing and the ball control, using the extra player. Now that could be for a pass or as a decoy. The defender will start to think that the attacker will always use the teammate. We encourage the attacker to see this and possibly use them as a decoy to get into the next area where they fake a pass and they don't need to use them. We look at finding space and creating good angles. We teach our players not to hide behind the defender and make sure they can see the ball, keep good body shape, teamwork, communication, and decision making. So in the final phase of this practice, we're still on the theme of passing and ball control. There are 3 defenders, 1 in each zone, 2 attackers in the central zone, an attacker on each wing. The end line player begins with a pass into the 2 attackers in the central zone. From there, the attackers play a 2v1 and must try and combine to send a wide player into the attacking zone to play a 1v1. Upon finishing this, the 1v1, the end line player rotates into a wide zone and play starts with the first pass from the opposite end. If the defenders win the ball in the middle zone, they can pass to one of their teammates who can score on a goal. The variations to this, you could play a 3v2 in the central zone. Once the ball gets played wide, you can play a 2v1 where one of the middle players in the middle zone can go and help the wide player. But on the coaching points, this imitates what we play at 7v7. So without going on about tactics too much, the exercise here for the players is the teacher. We allow the players to play and figure out the objective in this game-related practice. The object is to find the wide player, and then the wide player has an opportunity to play a 1v1 and start figuring things out there. After this, we then move to just small-sided game. We let the group play. We now look for things learned from the previous 4 exercises and see if the players are getting to understand what we have been doing. We look at the passing technique and the ball control and how the players are receiving the ball. In this game, there are a million things to cover, but we just really focus on what the topic of the night was, so ball control and passing. We may throw in some help if the defending is horrendous or players are not getting back. But the important thing to take from this session is that we arrive at the field early on time and set up. So then when the players go for a drink, the transition to the next exercise is pretty quick. We have these phases, 4 phases of fun, practice, play, because we found out that the young players struggle to focus for long periods of time. We switch up the exercise but keep it on the same theme, the players stay engaged, and then all the players are not separated at this age on their ability. We'll have done a good job at tryouts, and we believe in all our players that are in the programme to try and teach them the game. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it has helped some of you. Feel free to ask any questions and stay safe, everybody. Bye.